what's going on? Welcome to the Shilling and Stun Up podcast. We got 51 days till kickoff. How you doing, bro?
Hey, everything is good, bro. Hey, we back. I would say we back with another one, but it's about to be the first one. So let's go ahead and get to it, man.
Trying to give y'all something to enjoy.
It's about to be dope, man. Let's get to it. Yeah, man. Training camp coming up. The season is right upon us, man. It's about to be real interesting. We'll touch on a lot of things.
You heard anything exciting today coming out of training camp?
Coming out. Well, it's not a lot going on. You got the rookies coming in, reporting for a few teams. Raiders, I think the Chargers came in today. I know I did see the news about the Leonard Fournette coming in overweight pretty much from minicamp. What do you think about that news that came out?
That's crazy, bro.
Anything to worry about?
I saw a thing that said Leonard's a donut away from playing left tackle.
Hey, Leonard a big boy, man. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me, man. If he's not checking the weight, man. I mean, he's like, it was a joke going around, pretty much saying he pretty much looked the same since high school. So the man was like a grown ass man playing with kids, bro. That's
a thick dude too, though. He need to get some of that Brady kale ice cream or whatever.
Yeah. But I do want to ask you some questions about this wide receivers ranking, man, because it was a lot that stood out to me, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wonder, like, who's doing the ratings? I mean, obviously, I don't think it's a consensus around the league right now. I think these guys over at EA got their own algorithms or whatever that may be.
If I can read this to you real quick. So it looks like for wide receivers, it says for the best catching, speed, and route running, see every rating. So I wonder if that's how they algorithm calculates it in that order, like highest catching to speed, route running, and then everything else follows.
Man, I want to get that list pulled up for sure. I know one guy comes to mind, but I kind of want to touch on it together. But just seeing, I would say off the top of my head, I know DEEBO Samuels did make the list at all. Huh? He wasn't amongst the top 10. Jamar Chase didn't make the list at all. He wasn't amongst the top 10. And then being a Cowboys fan and being a home, I seen Amari Cooper ranked at number 10 on that list. And, you know, me being, like I said, biased as far as him being on our team and everything, I just want to say I don't see it, especially if we base it off of last year. So it's like some type of it's not really a clarity as far as what they're judging it off. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. Because I feel like Jamar Chase should have at least been a 90, right? Or DEEBO 90 somewhere. Yep. These guys are definitely below 90s, like 88, 87. You know, it's crazy. All right, so cool. So give me KUPP, Devonta Adams, and this is no order. You know, I mean, we'll play with the order as more as we go, but just to run that back one more time. Devonta Adams, KUPP, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins when he plays. That's a top 7. Now in
that's 6 right
3 there. That's left is definitely. How many is that?
That was 6.
6.
Can we try to combine and come up with 10?
Yeah, we can.
Mike Evans,
because it's gonna be. Of course. I agree with Mike Evans. Of course, that's 7.
Try to go to the teams here. But
I don't view AJ Brown as a top 10 receiver. Can you put Terry McLaurin in there at this point?
Today, I don't think so. I'm just trying to think of who we're missing here. Did you say DEEBO?
DEEBO.
That's 8.
So that'll give us 8. Just off the fly, guys. So can't knock us for this. We just off the top of the head. So
don't judge us because I don't remember which 8 we said.
And I like a lot of young receivers, but when you say top 10, it's that's cream of the crop. So
a lot of times too, Madden they won't because I put Jamar in there. He balled out.
And did we put Keenan Allen in there? I like Keenan Allen.
I don't remember, bro. All right, hold on. Do you want to try that again? And I'll write the names down as you say them.
No, bro, we flowing.
Okay, all right.
We flowing. We flowing.
All
Look,
right.
we not gonna know. You know what I'm saying? So.
7. All right. Let's take a peek. And we'll see if we change the order. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, I think the top guys is universally the top guys. So I think what we did just now and is the top guys and everything else. As far as the last 2 or 3 will be debatable. Depends on who list you're looking at. So let's go ahead and see what we got.
all right, so sitting at 99, number 1 is Devonta Adams. Reasonable, makes sense. You know that's my guy.
That's justified for sure.
2, KUPP. Yeah, he balled out. Fixed his speed a little bit though. Yeah.
Where we at?
89.
What the quickness at? Don't tell you that. Agility 95. Oh,
I'm cool with the 96 acceleration. That makes sense.
Yeah.
TYREEK at number 2. Or I'm sorry, number 3. D-Hop. Diggs, bro. Diggs.
Yeah, we definitely left out Diggs. That's a big one to drop off right there.
That's weird. Diggs and Jefferson are
my guy. Look,
back to back.
We pretty solid, bro.
They got Terry.
I asked you, bro. I wasn't for sure.
Ooh.
I'm not sure about that though. As much as I like Terry McLaurin, I'm not sure. I feel like we're leaving somebody out, and I do not agree with Amari Cooper at this point. I love Amari, but not based off of last year. I cannot put him right there. But I think everything else depends on the order. Now, let me ask you, if you was to reshuffle this order, let's just leave out the overalls at this point. How do you look at the order of this, and then how do you feel about that?
You know, leading up to this, I say all the time, Devontae and TYREEK can swap places every Sunday on the number 1 receiver in the league. I do think Cooper KUPP threw his name in the hat last year, and hopefully he keeps it in there. So 1, 2, 3. Honestly, in all fairness, KUPP could be number 1.
It's a lot of that, man. Just looking at it, you know.
D-Hop, yeah.
That's now, you know what's crazy? When you said Cooper KUPP can be number 1, I'm looking at D-Hop like, you know, before last year, pretty much he was seen as the number 1 receiver in the league. He had, the injury. Then now this year, so it's a recency bias as far as that. But I think easily, man, talent-wise, he can be right back as far as like number 2, maybe number 1, depending on the situation and how it goes this year. Stephon Diggs is a beast. I agree with him being right there.
That's crazy. They got Diggs and Jefferson next to each other, and Jefferson took his place in Minnesota.
Crazy, right? Yeah.
Mike Evans. Where's Chris Godwin, bro?
That's
weird.
I would put Godwin there over McLaurin and Cooper for sure.
I agree completely. That's probably exactly where I would put him.
I think Justin Jefferson, if he does what he did these past couple of years, he does it one more time, I think I would feel comfortable with moving him somewhere in his top 3. Maybe even over Tyreek Hill. Cooper KUPP, I'm anxious to see if he'll put up the type of stat line he put up last year, especially with defenses more focused on him. Can he repeat? If he repeats even remotely close to what he did last year, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think he's fully entrenched for where he at. But right now, do you feel comfortable with just based off of having one great season? Is it justified putting him as the number 2 receiver in the league right now, based off of Madden rankings?
Yes, actually. I think it was 2 years ago, because I think 2 years ago he was injured. The year before he balled out, I think he had like 100 receptions or close to it. So I do think that makes sense. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But would you rather have TYREEK or KUPP on your team? Like right now, you're a general manager. Let's say Madden, you're doing a franchise, like a fantasy draft. Who are you taking, KUPP or TYREEK Hill?
To be honest, like we just talked about as far as like being justified, I've only seen KUPP. He's had good seasons, you know what I mean? Decent seasons. But as far as like body of work, I'm taking Tyreek Hill. What he would look like with Tua, that begs the the question what that would look like. But I mean, I think it's close. It's close. Like I think if you asked me this question last year, which is strange, I'm like, what type of question is that? Of course, Tyreek Hill. But right now, and I mean, I wouldn't be mad at either or. You know what I mean? I think they're very close, almost like a 2A, 2B type situation. So even though he's ranked like below him, I feel it can be justified having KUPP there. And if Tyreek Hill was number 2 guy on that spot, I wouldn't be mad at that either.
One thing that stands out to me right away is they got TYREEK with an 88 catching. That's weird.
He had a lot of drops last year.
Oh, he did?
A lot of I don't have a direct number on that, but just based off of some of the film I seen, more than 2 or 3 interceptions of Patrick Mahomes he had during the year went straight through TYREEK hands up in the air and interceptions. So
I definitely
think
do remember
he does have a focus problem every once in a while as far as like just trying to make the big play, and then his drops suffer for that reason.
Real quick too, it looks like a weird stat that's on here. Throw power. KUPP's got a 59. That's weird. Kick power, kick accuracy, kick rocks. That speed 99 with that 99 acceleration though. I would take that on Madden all day.
All day.
I did pull up KUPP's stats. So 2019, I'm just gonna go receptions, yards, touchdowns. 2019.
This is 2019 before the breakout season, correct?
Correct. So this is 3 seasons ago, and then I'm gonna so 94, 1,161 and 10.
That's solid.
Which I guess I completely missed. 2020, 92, 974 and 3. Last year, 145, 1947 and 16. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is there any way you think KUPP can come close to touching that? You don't think he breaks his own record, do you? He did smash Michael Thomas's record. No, he didn't smash it.
He doesn't break it. I think a lot of that is based off of situations. So I think last year with Robert Woods going out and he being that guy and then being the only guy that Matt Stafford trusted for a long period of the season, I just think it was a situation where it's like almost like a Devonta Adams and Aaron Rodgers, like this is my guy, this is who I'm going to. But almost like to an extent that was the only guy and he was getting open. Now, going into this year, like how big will Allen Robinson be and how would that cut into Cooper Kupp's touches moving forward? And, that I think that's something to look at. Van Jefferson, it's crazy that he still put up like 800 yards in the offense. So I don't think it's a situation where the number 3 guy takes it away, but they never really had a number 2 option all last year. Odell Beckham, he came in for what, like, was it 5 or 6 games? Some decent stats, but it wasn't enough over for a season. I think just being a number 1 guy, Cooper Kupp, put up the type of season based off of that situation, but will he do that again? I can't see it happening. Will it be a solid year again? I believe in him, but he won't put up the season he had last year. I don't think so.
What's crazy, too, with Cooper Kupp, not to make this a Cooper Kupp podcast, but you knew where the ball was going. He was double-team, triple-team, and he was still catching that ball. He was still getting wide open, so that can't all be on McVay either. Like, you got to get yourself open as well.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I think it was at a point in the season where, people kept doubting. It was like, will he do this again? And he did it next week, and he did it again. It was the next week. But I want to say, like, when I became a full believer, and I think it's something that goes into, like, when it matters most, where I think it was the Super Bowl, man, and Odell Beckham went out. You know what I mean? And Cooper Kupp was the only guy. And I just remember that last drive where everybody knew it was Cooper Kupp getting the ball. It was like, who else they going to, man? And Matt Stafford literally went to this man, play after play after play, and this man just made play after play after play, catch after catch, all the way down there to get him that go-ahead touchdown and help him win that Super Bowl, man. So I think that says a lot about who he is and the type of player he can be, because when all eyes are on you, everybody know you getting the ball and you're still able to get open, still able to make game-breaking plays, man. Yeah, for sure. There's no reason to believe that he's not that guy over there in LA. He will be. I think he'll still have a very good season. And I think after this year, he'll be somewhere still entrenched, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. He'll be one of those guys for sure.
I forgot what the stat is. I can't find it. I was trying to find it here. Cooper Kupp had like an absurd amount of third down conversions on the year as well, which is just crazy because you knew the ball was going to him. Like, the ball was going to Kupp, but they still couldn't stop it. But I guess so 145, 1947, and 16 last year. But we can probably assume
that's unbelievable, man.
Barring injury, he's a lock for 100 receptions, 1,000 yards, say 8 touchdowns, right? Even with the addition of an Allen Robinson.
And before we move forward, I think that says a lot about McVay too. because a lot of coordinators in this league, when they take away your number one receiver, too many guys, too many quarterbacks, too many offensive coordinators are comfortable with saying, "Oh, they took away our number one option. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go here." I like that. Even though he's double coverage, everything is pretty much rolled his way. It's I don't want to even say it seems he does most of his damage out of the slot. His offense coordinator puts him in position to make plays. So just having that trust with McVay, knowing that he's going to put his guy in the right position to make plays, he will put up a high stat line this year because he's going to move him around. He's going to be X. He's going to be Y. He's going to be Z. He's going to be in the slot. He's not going to let the defense dictate what he's going to do. He's going to get his best playmaker the ball, and that'll be Cooper KUPP.
Absolutely. No, for sure. To move past KUPP, are we good on KUPP? You want to keep going there?
Yeah, let's keep moving on the list.
Would you change anything after the top three? I feel like it's fair. Any order, I don't think I could argue with. If you want to go, let's say 4 through 10, I'm going to scroll down here. Are you cool with that order?
I'm okay with it. I think obviously we'll touch on that a little bit later. 9 to 10 is debatable. Justin Jefferson, it's tough. I love Stephon Diggs and I love Justin Jefferson, but I think based off of last year, Justin Jefferson would be ahead of Stephon Diggs on this list. Now, I think it's more so of a proven by their work. Justin Jefferson has only been in the league 3 years now. I think they want to see it again. I'm comfortable with it. Just based off of what it looks like they're doing here, who's more proven, who's done it a longer period of time. I'm comfortable with Stephon Diggs, Jefferson, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen. It's kind of each his own. I agree with that as well. Like, Mike Evans more touchdown dependent. That's your guy, red zone. And I think, especially this year, he will be. Being the number one guy over there, he'll put up a high stat line in Keenan Allen, especially with Mike Williams coming in and pretty much cutting into the touches over there. I agree with that. Now, from that point forward, it gets a little interesting. Now, I know we have the top 10 here, and we have this visual here where you can see Terry McLaurin and Amari Cooper. But I'm anxious to see the other guys on this list that comes after this to see what you think.
You want me to pull up 11 through 20 and see if we could kick those two out?
Sir.
So we got McLaurin at a 91 and Amari at a 90 to reiterate, and technically ranked 9 and 10 in the league. Here comes number 2. Ooh. Michael Thomas, what have you done for me lately? So it looks like they got a tie between Thomas Lockett and Amari Cooper. And if I can just go back real quick to page 1, if you don't mind.
One guy pops out. I already know what I'm feeling.
I can think
that's crazy.
I can see a situation where Amari, the number 10 guy, Michael Thomas, the number 11, and Lockett, the number 12 guy, all fall this year, given their situation. Like Lockett with Drew Lock, Amari with, I'm assuming, Jacoby Brissett. We'll find out here shortly, I'm sure. And then Michael Thomas, like, you haven't played in a while, buddy. What are you, how good are you anymore? What do you think? So we'll go, let's say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So DEEBO is at 15.
That's crazy. I couldn't even bite my tongue just now. I'm over here just shaking my head. I'm like, what? Listen, there's no way I'm taking Terry McLaurin or Amari Cooper over DEEBO Samuels. Not even that. Scroll a little bit down this list. It's just something that looks very strange to me. DJ Moore, D-Lin, Brandon Cooks, AJ Brown over Jamar Chase. I don't care what you say. 1 year, whatever, you gotta prove it again. I don't give a damn, bro. You can't name 10 receivers in this league you're gonna take over Jamar Chase right now. I don't care. Year 1, whatever it may be, prove it again. I'm not taking Terry McLaurin over Jamar Chase. I'm not taking freaking Amari. I love Amari to death. DJ Moore, love him. Brandon, like, these are all great players, but I can't do that right now. Now, DEEBO, Jamar Chase should definitely be somewhere in the 9 to 10 range. Chris Godwin, if he was healthy, I would feel comfortable with him being somewhere in that range. Whether it's 9 to 10, I understand. DK Metcalf, that is a polarizing player right there. I can understand if you want to have him there. I can understand if not. And like, this is justified. I feel like he's somewhere within that, 13, 14 range, depends where you feel. But DEEBO, Samuels, and Ja'Marr Chase, that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
And just to
especially not being the 15th on that list. That's crazy. 15th and what is that, 20th? Are there 19 wide receivers better than Ja'Marr Chase?
Erasing the situation.
It's not April Fools, bro. So.
And let's talk about, I'm going to pull it up real quick. So Ja'Marr as a rookie had 81, 14, 55, and 13. And that is that's crazy. A hell of a start to career.
Come on, man.
And you had no choice but to force feed him because of how dominant he was.
We talked about making you a believer. Like, how, like, at what point in the season that you was like, all right, I believe in this guy? Like, remember me back before the season started, they had all the, like the headlines coming out. That's why you can't overbelieve the hype. It was, oh, Ja'Marr Chase got a drop problem. Oh, he might be a bust. When the year started, I'm just like, damn. The next week, I'm just looking at the highlights. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn. I think I want to know what it was for you, but I think that highlight against the Baltimore Ravens, I was like, oh, this guy for real. When he just like went through the whole defense,
right.
When was it like 80, 90 yards or something?
And
crazy.
He better have a 99 overall on blocking. You remember that highlight of him just blocking downfield? Oh, yeah, that was crazy. I think it was a Joe Mixon run. That was insane. Wide receivers don't usually do that. And to do that in your rookie year, woo, that's crazy.
Yeah, he set up for success, man. I believe in Ja'Marr Chase for real.
Thielen, DJ, and then DJ Moore. I just feel like he's underwhelmed since he's gone into the league. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to ask you a question. I'm not going to take the stage here. I just want to ask you, how much we love the Cowboys and everything like that. Just not saying that CeeDee Lamb on his list. Where would you put? Is there any player or any position that you would slide him in above these guys? Or do you feel like he's that far below, and do you feel like, hey, it's justified based off of what he's done so far in his career?
So looking at it now, like Brandon Cooks quietly has a good year every year. I'm cool with where he's at. AJ Brown finally did his thing. He did have a better year than CeeDee, I would say, just given the eye test, not pulling up stats. DK, I think it's fair. I think we're probably on different sides with CeeDee. I think I need to see a lot more from CeeDee. I don't think he's shown true number one ability yet, and I hope he does. Like Jefferson has. Jefferson came out the same year. A few picks later than CeeDee, handful of picks later, and took over his own offense. You know what I mean? Was CeeDee unable to take over the offense because of KUPP? We'll find out. But as looking at this now, I'm cool with KUPP missing the top. What is this, top 20?
I think CeeDee Lamb would be in a Cooper Kupp type situation, or Justin Jefferson. Now the question is with me, I think he has all the talent in the world. I do think that, like we just talked about, for different reasons, whether Kellen Moore will find ways to get him the ball. That has been a problem in Dallas. Now, with defenses fully focused on him getting a number one cornerback, double coverage getting rolled his way, what type of plays will he make? And that's what I'm pretty much anxious to see how that will look going into year 4. Now, before we move off of receivers, is it anybody that you just feel like is just completely an afterthought right now, who just off the top of your head that you would just like, hey, if it's anybody that deserves to be somewhere within this top 20, who would it be for you?
Top of my head?
Mm-hmm.
Top 20. I would consider Mike Williams, but then he's more of a splash guy. Like, he's not consistent. I'm trying to think around the league here. Honestly, I think I would probably remove DJ Moore, and whoever's 21 would just slide up, depending, obviously. But DJ Moore, I just feel like, well, he's a beast, and I know his quarterback situation has been pretty terrible. I just feel like he hasn't done much. No, nothing really stands out. I'm assuming someone stands out to you.
Yes and no. And the reason I said it is because it's like I understand this list, and I don't know if I could put him above any of these guys, but based off of if it's proven and it's based off of talent, I think a guy that I would kind of, if I wanted to try to move him just a little bit, I think it would be Deontay Johnson, only because he kind of has that Brandon Cook syndrome, where it's like his quarterback play hasn't been the best. He's been moved all around. He's been a number 2 guy, whatever in the offense. Everything has been moving around him, you know what I mean, to an extent. But he's always been highly productive. It seems like he's always over 1,000, always has a high number of catches, great highlights, highly contested catches, always putting up the touchdowns. Bad quarterback play, Juju number 1, whether he becomes the number 1, number 2, doesn't matter where you line him up. He seems to always, because to be honest, I look at it like, hey, you put Terry McLaurin there, why not put Deontay Johnson somewhere in there? I just feel like it's not too far off or too far fetched. You know what I mean? So that would be my guy.
That's crazy. That didn't even cross my mind, but that's been my guy like the last 2 years in fantasy. However, I have faded him a lot this year in best ball, given his quarterback situation. But yeah, that man demands targets. Claypool broke out the year before, while Deontay still shined, and then Deontay just outshined Claypool. So you make a very good point. Are you good on these 11 through 20? Do you want to go to the next batch?
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and switch to the next group.
CeeDee has to be on page 3, right?
Give me CEEDEE at like 86. He can't be too far below 86, 85.
I think he ended the year Madden 22 rating like 82, 83. Oh, Calvin Ridley. There goes Mike Williams. Robert Woods, 86.
Robert Woods. Okay, so CEEDEE, Deontay. I mean, I like him in the run throw. I like the respect that they gave him in the run throw.
They need to give him some speed, though.
Yeah.
Or at least increase his acceleration.
Not only that. Yeah, I was about to say, what's up with the burst?
That man moves.
Do they have a stat for a route running on here? Scroll up to the top.
Not yet. I don't want to mess.
They're not showing that. No, yeah. Put that guy out there and they're the best. Okay.
Run block rating. Ooh, can I go back real quick and look at Jamar's run block?
Hey, so
I gotta see that, bro.
Tyler Boyd over T. Higgins? That's
weird. Not a chance.
I think I seen that, bro.
Let me see Jamar's run
Unless
block.
you got 3 Cincinnati receivers above 84, which would be pretty dope.
Jamar's blocking is disrespectful. All right, back to page 3.
I think I seen Tyler Boyd above T. Higgins, man.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me, man. What is Madden doing?
Wow.
I did want to ask about Hollywood Brown. I'm very interested to see what he'll look like with Kyler. I think he can definitely move up this list. I think he has all the talent in the world. Put him in the air raid system, he'll be up there. But Tyler Boyd, that's weird.
So, looking at this now, is there anyone that you think on this page here can creep into at least the top 20 this season? Or that you think is already a top 20 wide receiver in the league?
Already a top 20? I felt like Robert Woods is a top 20 receiver. He just been hurt, so we don't know what he would look like. So I think if he just comes back and just looks anything near his former self, I think obviously him. Mike Williams, he seems to be. It's a lot of guys, man. To be honest, I'm not going to say a single out. If you want to ask who, based off we just talked about Deontay Johnson, I think CEEDEE get a number 1 role. Robert Woods, Mike Williams, Jalen Waddle. I mean, yeah, I think all of these guys has a chance to move to the top 20. Not to be just leaving everything open like that, but I do. Hunter Renfrow, I will say I'm anxious to see what he looks like with, Devonta Adams over there, and then Waller being that guy that commands a lot of attention and being back over there. I know a lot of his output last year was based off of him being a number 1 guy, similar to a KUPP. He was and he thrived in that role. I mean, Derek called luck for him. He made plays. So I do want to see what he looks like not being the number 1 or even the number 2 guy over there in Vegas.
Do you think Calvin Ridley deserves to be on this list? He didn't do much last year due to injury. He's now suspended.
Yes.
So I'm assuming after this season he'll fall tremendously, ranking wise in Madden.
No, I mean, I understand. I think before everything happened with Calvin Ridley, we looked at Calvin Ridley as a borderline, top 10, 12, 13 receiver in the league, top 15 for sure. I mean, so now this has pushed him back. But you got to think about it. Calvin Ridley is amazing. He's one of the best route runners in the league. Obviously, he came over there. He pushed Julio to the number 2 spot almost immediately. You know what I mean? So, and I think that says a lot about that guy. I mean, so is it low? Is it high? I think it's more so a situation where we just haven't seen him recently. Almost like Michael Thomas. Like Calvin Ridley and Michael Thomas are in that same type of boat where it's like, what will you get? You know what you did get, but who is he now? And I think he's still that guy. He hasn't dealt with injuries. He just needs to get on the field and play. Well, I think his last year was injuries. Last year, injuries, yeah.
I think he had the mental health thing last year.
Oh, so yeah.
That's
so
what it was.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, he hasn't even dealt with injuries. I mean, you would expect him to come back. Nothing holding him back from being the player he was. And if you're talking about the Calvin Ridley that I seen 2 years ago, then yeah, this guy definitely a top 20 player as far as receiving the league.
Do you think Atlanta decides to jump ship on Ridley after this? Because I believe his contract is up after this year.
I'm gonna tell you what. I think Atlanta should do the Dallas Cowboys Brandon Gregory situation. You have a guy here who is a top, like I said, top receiver in this league. Not only that, you have all the leverage right now. Go ahead and extend him for 2 or 3 years. You have Drake London. You have Kyle Pitts and all these guys. Go ahead and, bro, don't even, I'm not going to say just sign off on the troubles players, but I mean, it's not like he went out there and, had some domestic violence problems or he did I don't want to get into all of, the things as far as bad things, but I don't look at him as a guy who's troublesome, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I don't think it justifies you just saying, hey, I want to give up on Calvin Ridley. If you're frustrated with him, I understand. But I think with Atlanta having all the leverage, you find a way, you got all the leverage. Just go ahead and try to give him a cheap deal, low ball him just a little bit, bring him back. And I think if you got the weapons that they have in the next 2 or 3 years and they build up, they could be right back in the thick of things over there in the NFC.
I do think, like you're saying, they could have Calvin Ridley by the balls on this one and just say, look, dude, you sat out the year before, you were suspended. We're not giving you top 5 money. You're not getting McLaurin's deal. You're not getting AJ Brown's deal. We'll give you 15 to 20 mil a year. You'll be number 1. We got Drake London. We got you. We got Kyle Pitts. I'm assuming Cordarrelle. I know he's in his 30s. I'm not sure exactly how old he is. He won't be around long. But if they can figure out the quarterback position and retain Calvin Ridley, dude, that's scary.
It'll be dangerous. No way you give up on that guy. Now, it's crazy. Just to kind of, not to just toss things in a different direction here, but I did hear that, the Philadelphia Eagles, before they got AJ Brown, they was kicking the tires on Calvin Ridley. They was kicking on Calvin Ridley, and then the news came out as far as him being suspended the year they backed off. And there was one more veteran receiver they was checking out. So it seems like Philly was hunting for these receivers, and then AJ Brown was the last of it. And it was all right, cool, we got our guy. But so they didn't get AJ Brown; they was coming away with somebody. But Calvin Ridley was definitely on the list for the Eagles to get, and I'm glad they didn't do that because Calvin Ridley's a beast.
When you say that, that makes sense. That makes me want to rank him higher because if he ended up in the NFC East, that'd be tight.
Yeah. But cool, man. I think, I mean. It's some questionable decisions in there. Tyler Boyd, that definitely stand. He just sitting there at the bottom. I hate that.
I just got to figure out where Higgins is at.
That's what makes me think it's more of a proven thing versus a what have you done for me lately? Because if you think about, like I said, Michael Thomas and some of those guys that you see, it just seems like they favor the guy who's done it over a longer period of time based off rather than the guy who's done it more recently. So,
right.
Yeah.
I real quick, I just got to see where they could put Higgins. Devontae Smith, Juice, Gallup.
There you go. It's not too far off.
83.
Okay.
That makes more sense to me now.
Yeah. And it doesn't make it that bad, but okay.
That pair of 83s in a row makes sense to me, I guess.
Yeah.
I do like the respect they put on Gallup's name there. 83.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool, man. So that's the top 30 for the Madden rankings, man. Yeah. I like Michael Pittman sneaking his way up there, too. I can move the ladder a little bit this year.
I love Pittman. I think he has a phenomenal year. I could see Pittman finishing like top 15. Top 15, not even in fantasy in the league. I could see him even ending up on like the top 100, NFL top 100 list that comes out over the summer. Next year, obviously. Yep. Thank you all for tuning in. That was our opinion on Madden's new wide receiver rankings. We're going to hit you next with, what do we say? Edge rushers. So tune into that in a couple of days. We'll give our thoughts on who got snubbed, who's too high, who could improve on the year, and who we think could possibly fall on the year. This is the Schilling and Stunner podcast. You got any final words?
If you don't know, now you know. We'll be back. Appreciate y'all. Peace.